Hi everybody, welcome to the Steckline Report. Hey, I tell you what, we've got the Chinese that have bought some soybeans, helped our market just a little bit. And more importantly, it helped the attitude of the boys back at USDA and on the Board of Trade, thinking maybe they'll buy a few more beans than they had thought. Stand by, I'm going to talk about that and sequester right after this.
Every father would like to have their son farm with them and grandson and continue to farm. It's kind of a legacy, I guess. And then my dad was a farmer, and then of course then I am and my son. So actually Jackson, would be the fifth generation from my grandfather. It's going to be key for us to have American Ag Credit. It's a long-term partnership with them is what it is.
Well, folks, Senate Ag Committee Chairman Pat Roberts wrote a letter to USDA wanting to know exactly when they're going to get out those farm program checks for ARC and PLC. I talked about that on the last Steckline Report, but I got to tell you, there's something else that's been going on that I'm kind of happy about. So we don't want to blame FSA for being a little bit late with those checks. Maybe some of you have already gotten some, I don't know. Don't think I've gotten mine yet, but it doesn't make any difference. They do have one good reason that they're holding it up for a change. It looks like the Farm Service Agency says, and USDA officials, that they're asking Congress to eliminate that 6.8% sequester cut that will reduce the amount of payment farmers receive. I talked about that back a few days ago, and it looks like, according to the law as it's written, that we'll probably get the 6.8% deducted. In any event, we'll wait and see if they have any luck of just sweeping it under the rug. In the meantime, pretty happy the Chinese came to town, and they bought 13 million metric tons of soybeans, about 485 million bushels, folks. A lot of beans. And that got people thinking maybe they're going to buy more beans than they thought, because they have a terrible local economic situation in China that's making it pretty tough for them to buy anything, the way it looks like to me. And so consequently, with that in mind, USDA has lowered their expectations of what China will buy. Now they're thinking maybe not so fast. In any event, USDA lowered their forecast by 50 million bushels just in their last report. And primarily it's because of their stock market plunging and their economic conditions the way it is. But USDA is forecasting China to import about 79 million metric tons of beans this year. That's 2 million more than last year, so even at this rate. And with them buying what they did at the last go-around, they were in the United States, of course, announcing that too. Real happy that those people got that bought. Helped our market some. Will it help it more? I think so, because quite honestly, I think they're going to need it. Although I must add that they have stockpiled the last 2 years more beans than ever before because of pretty good crops. And so consequently, they don't have to buy at any one time. And that's why I say when they came to town to buy, as shrewd buyers as the Chinese marketers are, and they're great, I got to thinking maybe we were at the bottom of the soybean market. So far, I'm right. But the bottom could fall out any minute. In the meantime, good news from Kansas State University. Wheat scientists there have identified wild relatives of wheat plants that'll do us some good. In fact, might give us some wheat varieties that are resistant to rust. Wouldn't that be a good deal? That's probably one of the biggest culprits we have in growing wheat today, and not getting an extra 5 or 10 bushels an acre is this doggone rust situation. Well, they've identified a gene that may be able to be cranked into a new variety that not only will take care of that rust issue, but supposedly that particular product will not need as much moisture to produce either. So it's a twofold good deal. My hat's off to the scientists at Kansas State University. Hope they get her out pretty quick. Oh, by the way, speaking of wheat, Russia has got a drought like nobody's been talking about. Example, it looks like most of the Ukraine had a total rainfall of less than 25% of the average. Less than 25%. Everything's pretty dry and accompanied by hot, dry wind. I want to check on that a little bit deeper on the next 2 or 3 Steckline reports, so stay tuned, will you?